My neighbor across the road spent $22,000 on solar panels 3 years ago. I remember him telling me about it in the driveway the week before the installer came. He said he was done with the power company, done with the bills. From here on out, the sun was going to take care of everything. I saw him again last February. He was still getting a bill every month. Here is what happened. In the summer, his panels made more electricity than he used, and the power company bought the extra from him at their cheap price. In the winter, when the sun was low and the panels could not keep up, he bought it back at their expensive price. He sold low and he bought high, and the man who financed $22,000 of panels on his roof was still writing a check every month to the same company he was trying to get away from. I have one panel leaning against the south wall of my barn, one battery sitting on a shelf inside, about the size of a small cooler. That panel and that battery run the lights and a few tools in my shop, and they have done it for going on 6 years now. No bill, no contract, no installer, no permit. I wired it myself on a Saturday afternoon with a screwdriver and a pair of pliers. What my neighbor bought was not solar. It was a longer leash. What I have on my barn wall is something different, and today I am going to walk you through exactly what it is, what it costs, and how to build your first one before summer is out. If you are new here, welcome to the Homestead Grandpa. I put out a new video every week on doing things the right way, the old way, and the cheap way. Hit that subscribe button right now so you do not miss a single one. I am glad you are here. Now, let us talk about solar. Number 1, start with one panel and do not complicate it. The first thing most people do wrong with solar is they try to think about all of it at once. They start calculating how much power their whole house uses, what size system they would need to run everything, and within about 10 minutes the numbers are so big they either give up entirely or they pick up the phone and call an installer, and the installer is very happy to hear from them. Here is what I want you to do instead. Think small. Think about one job, because one panel doing one job is a real thing, and a real thing done is worth more than a whole house planned and never started. A single 100-watt solar panel runs about $75 to $100. That is a panel roughly 2 feet by 4 feet. You have seen them on campers, on boats, on farm equipment. It collects sunlight and turns it into electricity. No moving parts, nothing to break, nothing to service. A panel my grandfather put up on his place was still working 20 years later. He just hosed it off once a year when it got dusty. You want to face it south if you are in the northern half of the country. Prop it against a south-facing wall, set it on a simple frame in the yard, or mount it flat on a roof if you want a permanent job. Angle it roughly equal to your latitude. But I will tell you plainly, a panel propped against a sunny wall at an imperfect angle still makes electricity. Do not let perfect stop you from getting started. The rule on this place has always been simple. One panel doing one job is worth more than a perfect plan that never gets built. Number 2, the charge controller is the part nobody talks about and the one you cannot skip. Most people who have heard of solar have heard of the panel and the battery. The charge controller is the one in the middle that gets left out of every advertisement, and it is the one that will quietly wreck your battery if you leave it out of your setup. Here is what happens without it. A solar panel keeps pushing power into a battery even after the battery is full. A full battery that keeps getting charged gets hot. A hot battery swells, warps, and fails years before its time. A good battery that should last you a decade will be dead in 2 years if you skip this step. The charge controller sits between the panel and the battery. Its only job is to watch the battery level and slow the charge down when the battery is getting full and cut it off when it is topped off. It is the valve. It is not complicated and it does not need to be expensive. For a 100-watt system, a basic charge controller costs $25 to $30, and it does everything you need. My father set up the first solar on this place and skipped the charge controller to save a few dollars. He replaced the battery 14 months later. The second time around, he did it right, and that battery lasted 11 years. He told me afterward that the $30 part would have been the best money he spent on the whole system. The rule on this place has always been simple. The cheap part that protects the expensive part is never optional. Before I get to the battery, I want to ask you something. What is the one thing on your property that you are still paying the power company for that you wish you were not? The shop, the chest freezer, the well pump, the porch lights. Drop it in the comments below and tell me where you are and what you are trying to get free from. I read every single one, and what you all send back shapes what I cover next. And if you have not hit subscribe yet, do it right now. Everything on this channel is built for people who want to do things themselves, do them right, and stop depending on someone else to handle what they can handle on their own. Number 3. Buy the right battery once and do not buy it twice. The battery is the heart of the whole system. It is where the sun gets stored so you can use it after dark, through a cloudy stretch, or any time the panel is not making power. Get the battery right and it rewards you for years. Get it wrong and you are replacing it in 2 years and starting over. There are 2 kinds of batteries you will see in this price range. The first is lead acid, the old kind. They are cheap up front. A 100 amp-hour lead acid battery might run you $80 to $100. But they are heavy. They do not like being run down past 50% charge. And in a solar setup that cycles every single day, they take a beating. 2 to 3 years and you are shopping for a new one. The second kind costs more up front. A 100 amp-hour battery of this type runs $150 to $250, but it handles daily cycling without complaint. It can be run nearly empty without damage. It is lighter, and it lasts a decade or more if you treat it right. Over the life of the system, the more expensive battery is the cheaper battery. It just does not look that way in the store. I have been running this type of battery on this place for 6 years. I have not replaced one yet. The first one I bought is still sitting on the same shelf I set it on. The rule on this place has always been simple. Pay for the good battery once, or pay for the cheap battery 3 times. Number 4. Get a small inverter and ignore the big one. An inverter changes the power stored in your battery into the kind of power a regular appliance plugs into. Your battery speaks one language, your shop light and your table saw speak another. The inverter translates between them. When most people hear the word inverter, they think about the big box on their neighbor's wall. The grid-tied inverter, the one that costs several $1,000s, has an app on your phone and talks to the power company's wire. That inverter exists for one reason: to connect your solar system back to the grid. You do not need it because you are not connecting to the grid. You are doing the opposite of connecting to the grid. What you need is a small standalone inverter. For a single load, something in the 400-watt range does the job. That inverter costs $35 to $50. You plug it into your battery, you plug your appliance into it, and it runs. That is the whole operation. Some loads do not even need an inverter. LED lights, small water pumps, fence chargers, many of these run on the same voltage the battery puts out and can be wired directly. Check what your load needs before you buy an inverter you might not need. The rule on this place has always been simple. Buy the part that does the job, not the part that does everything the salesman thought of. Number 5. Start with the chest freezer and work outward from there. You can put this system on anything: the well pump, the shop lights, the garage refrigerator. But if you are doing this for the first time and you want to start with the load that teaches you the most while doing the most good, I will tell you the same thing I tell everyone who asks: start with the chest freezer. Here is why. A chest freezer does not run constantly. It cycles. It runs long enough to pull the temperature down, and then it shuts off and coasts before it kicks on again. That means it is forgiving. It does not demand a perfect steady flow of electricity every minute of the day. It takes what the sun gives and holds the cold the same way the battery holds the electricity. A full chest freezer with the lid kept shut will hold its temperature for a full day or more with no power at all. So when a cloud covers your panel for an hour, or the battery runs a little low by evening, your food is not in danger. The system and the freezer work together in a way that is almost designed for each other. And then there is the thing that matters when the grid goes down. Your neighbors are watching their freezers and counting the hours before everything spoils. Yours has not noticed. It is running on the same sun it was running on the day before and the day before that. That is what independence actually feels like. Not the word on a brochure, the real thing. From the chest freezer you go to the next load, then the next. You do it one job at a time, the same way any real thing gets built. The rule on this place has always been simple. Do one thing completely before you start planning the next. So here is the whole system, all in one place. One 100-watt panel against your south wall, $75 to $100. One charge controller between the panel and the battery, $25 to $30. One battery to store the sun after it sets, $150 to $250. One small inverter so your appliances can talk to the battery, $35 to $50. A fuse on the battery, a few feet of the right-sized wire, an afternoon with a screwdriver and a wrench. Total, somewhere between $300 and $400. An afternoon. No permit, because you never touched the wiring in your house. No contractor. No contract. No company with an office somewhere getting a piece of it every month. I will say the safety word plainly before you go do this. A battery holds real energy and electricity deserves respect. Put a fuse between the battery and everything else. If something shorts, the fuse blows instead of something worse. Keep the battery somewhere dry with a little airflow around it. Use the right wire gauge for your load. The instructions with your parts will tell you. None of this is hard, but you do it right. And if this video helped you, share it with someone who is still writing that check every month. That is how this channel grows, and it means a great deal to me. Until next time, keep the gate latched, the ground fed, and take care of what is yours.